Seems the individual I'm about to introduce puts jet fuel on his Cheerios. He is one of our newest members and already taking his best shot at Competent Communicator speech number 3. Now, this speech is a little different, in which look at it from an audience standpoint and try and reflect what he is about to tell you about teamwork, about teams. However, I want you to also listen with a Toastmaster's ear. And he'd really like some feedback on his conciseness of the speech, the cleanness, the style of his presentation, and the clearness of the purpose of his speech. His speech is entitled, "You Have Seen This, How Team Develops." He has many steps, many phases of teams, and I'm going to let him explain that. Timer, please put 7, 8, and 9 on the time cards. And please welcome Yi to the podium.
Good morning and good afternoon, my fellow Toastmasters. The title of my speech today is "You Have Seen It, How Team Develops." We all, in our daily life, works with teams or works within a team. No matter it is a sport team, a project team, or a team with hobbies that you like. You have all experienced a first-hand experience that how enjoyable to work with some teams, well, frustrating with others. But have you wondered why some teams work out while others don't? Do you know that the team development always follow a generic pattern? To help you to answer the questions, I will introduce you a framework that can be used to analyze the status of team development. And hopefully that can shed some light using different angle when you see teams in the future. According to Dr. Bruce Tuckman, an educational psychologist of the Ohio State University, there are 5 stages of team development, namely forming, storming, norming, performing, and adjourning. As you can see, everybody has a handout only showing the first 4 stages. But adjourning itself is actually short ending of any transition to a new phase of the team. So in today's presentation, I will explain and describe in details, briefly, how each stage works and what based on the feeling of individuals, behavior of them, team's task, and some suggestions for leaders' behavior. Let's start with the forming. Forming of a team starts normally when team members meet each other. That can be a new team or a new team member join the team. During this phase, that the team members, they come into the situation with anxiety. They want to do something good, want to be part of this team, but also conservative. They want to observe people. So the behavior is more behave, show the best of my side to the team. And actually, they constantly search people's feedback to them. The team task at the early stage is actually to define the clear goals, objectives, and the roles of the team member. For the leader of such a team, the suggestion I will give is to be directive, because people are looking for signals, directions. And when team members get used to with each other, they move to the next stage. Sooner or later, it's called storming. By the word, you can use your imagination. Things really happens now. So people, actually the team members, start to show their real side. the characteristic of this stage is actually people become more confrontation. To be the one who trying to earn the credit, saying my idea is the idea, my way is the highway. We all experience that. So in this stage, the individual's feeling and behavior tend to be more confrontational. They start to feel frustration. They start to be actually a little bit disoriented. Why I'm here, what I'm doing, what's the goal of the team. So the team's task in this stage actually is to be more open-minded, to be more accepting, tolerance, and also endure people's different ideas. For the leader, they need to be directive, but at the same time, more importantly, accessible. The key thing for the leader at this time of the stage is don't let any team member to feel they're being judged, because that will close the door of open communication. Have you ever watched a movie called Remembers the Titans? A great football movie, right? It's not just about team get together. It's about black and white kids work together to achieve the goal. If any of you watch the movie, maybe you recall a little bit at the beginning when the coach, Boone, came in to join the white kid, which is one camp, and black kids from another camp. There's a lot of integration. During the camp, they actually try out there. There's a lot of attrition at that time, friction. Everybody want to back up instead of to protect whole team member just because of the skin and color. And that is really a good example of talking about the storming. People start to show what their value is, start to show what they think is the right thing to do without thinking about the goal of the team. When that stage moves on, which is the next stage of this 5-stage framework, Dr. Tuckman called it norming. Everything go back to normal. So in this stage, the feeling of individual and the behavior of individual start to be more showing up more appreciation of the diversity of the team. So for the team task is actually refocus on the bigger picture of why we are here as a team. And followed by practical plans to achieve that. And more importantly, is start to work together. At this stage, the coach or leader, if you will, is becoming more accessible, back off a little bit rather than intrusive or directive anymore. So when team start to norm, they start to actually go to the final stage of the developmental cycle. We call it performing. In this stage, that the team actually come together as self-directed team. And you can observe literally the can-do attitude show up. People feel attachment. People feel the belonging. People feel the team give them the identity to be competent and also to be satisfactory. In this stage, it is very important for the team task to really strike one clear and agreed goal with a mutual agreed plan to achieve it. For the leaders at this stage is actually to be more participative. Instead of giving more directions, instead of giving more of accessible ideas, but the leader in this stage is actually part of the team. The last stage, called adjourning. When a team member leave the team, or when the project is done, everybody go back to their own station, departments, or their original teams. The team's mission is finished. That is when a team disbanded with each other. And during that stage, people start to have mixed feelings because they feel comfortable of the achievement. So you may see sometimes there's a mixed productivity at this stage. However, for the team's task at this stage is actually recognition and celebration. Celebrate what we have been gone through. And think about Remember the Titans again. If you haven't watched the movie, I strongly recommend you to do so. The adjourning happens when the white captain actually passed away. But they all celebrate by saying goodbye to him. But what achievement. Everybody in that ending become part of a real man. With this, I introduced the 5-stage framework of knowing how a team develop themselves. I strongly recommend you to use this framework of forming, storming, norming, performing, and adjourning. And please use those framework as to observe one of the team that you're working with now. And let me know what you find out. And let me know what kind of suggestion you may have to help them to move to the next stage. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Eve.
Thanks.
Sarah, can we get 1 minute for the evaluation?
You got it.
Thank you. So, Eve, what's your favorite team that you've been on then? What did you accomplish?
What I would say is actually one of the recent example that I can connect this to is one of the project team that in one of my MBA program class. This is a strategy class. We have 6 people working on one project to analyze one industry of choice that we choose. We choose the banking industry, which is not that easy to analyze because nobody is working in that industry. But I literally observe, reflect myself and observe this 5 stages to go through. And I think there's something that I can really get out of that is not just only the teamwork that we involve each other in, but also I think we got one of the best scores from the professor evaluating our project. So just bumps in the road, but end up is really rewarding project that I would say.
Are you doing your master's right now?
Yes.
How far along are you?
About like I would say another 1.5 or 2 years to go.
Where are you getting?
Ross.
At Ross.
Yes.
In?
MBA.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Co-focus. Yep.
Good, thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, Eve.
Yep.
Well, thank you, Eve, for a very informative speech. I would like to ask Carl to come up here and conduct our table topics.
You guys are all so far away back there.
You feel that too, right?
It makes it easier to talk because it's one of
That's
those
why I
things.
have the intention to move this way to talk.
Yeah.
Now, some people would like that because it's more impersonal that
Yeah.
way, so you're not talking to somebody. Well, in keeping with the Earth Day theme, I came up with some questions. And given the dearth of people today, I think Neil is the only one who is immune. I think everybody else is fair game. We'll see how much time we
What's
have.
all?
So, who shall we start with? Start with Jeff. Jeff, aside from global climate change due to carbon dioxide, for those that believe that that is the case, what is the biggest challenge facing our planet?
All right.
Oh, you're welcome.
Another minute or two to think about this one. I would like to go somewhere with it. Biggest challenge facing our planet at the moment is our population. There are more people on the earth right now, almost 7 billion people, than have ever been throughout all of recorded history, if I understand correctly. And therefore, the challenge now becomes, how can our earth as